What's going on, everyone? Average player. Don't say anything about the voice cracks. I'm still a little off, way off. This deck went through some revisions, so if you notice some cards for this combo tutorial that are just not in the deck profile that I had last time, it's because it's still changing a little bit with the meta changing. I'm still trying to get it to where it's still going to compete. And I'm not going to try to give you guys a deck that's just going to be like, oh, this is good for locals. I want you guys to have a deck that's be like, all right, this can compete at a regional and YCS level. Unfortunately, the deck is pretty standard. Everything in it is, you know, your normal, typical branded shit with just a few things different here and there. And a couple of cards people are playing. We're going to go for the cut here. Alright, the deck, you're not going to be able to see it because the deck zones out. I wasn't able to get it just set up, but zone 1 through 5, so that's all that matters. Right, I mean, I can move this over just a tad bit more. Get the deck in a little bit. But we're going to go 5 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5. This hand's actually quite amazing. I don't play Foolish in this deck. I know some people play Foolish to send Tragedy and Sark to banish the Mercurier. But I like the Mercurier as a hand trap more, so that's why I don't like to do that. But it's draw phase, branded opening here in this instance. For the effect, we're going to discard Serenir. Alright, there's going to be a reason for that in a second. And we're going to special summon out Guiding Quem. Alright, and Guiding Quem effect is going to activate, and it's going to send Guiding Quem's going to be Chainlink 1, Serenir here is going to be Chainlink 2. So Serenir is going to send Branded Retribution, it doesn't really matter, and Quem is going to dump Blazing Cartesia. Okay, so right here is going to be our graveyard, just to show you guys. Okay, main phase. Elbion here doesn't matter, right? Let's just do it here to get a dump off to draw a card. Retribution being in graveyard, we could do almost whatever we want. In this instance, some people dump Branded Fusion, because if you're not able to get the Gold Sark off to get your normal summon out, then you're able to get Branded Fusion, so we could just do Branded Fusion. Alright, we're going to dump Branded Fusion to be on the safe side. This is going to go to the bottom of the deck, and we're going to draw a card. So we're going to shuffle pretty decently. Cut it, put it at the bottom, draw a card. Ended up being Branded Fusion anyway, so let's see, it doesn't really matter. Activate Branded Lost. And then we're going to Gold Sark. Despia and Tragedy, which you're going to put there. And then Tragedy is going to add us Aliber. Okay. Doesn't really matter what you do at this point, but Branded Fusion is going to be the first call here. Fallen Albaz plus Mr. Lebellion. For Elbion the Branded Dragon. Chainlink 1, Elbion the Branded Dragon. Chainlink 2, Branded Lost. And this is why I say like Mercurier is a hand trap, because you will be adding the Mercurier here as an additional protection for Nibiru, because you will be playing in Nibiru really hard in this combo. Oh, I forgot Quem is Chainlink 3. We'll make Quem Chainlink 2, doesn't really matter. Quem will summon back Cartesia, and then Elbion will fuse by banishing. Alright, we're going to banish Serenir. And Fallen Albaz. Not Fallen, Aliber. I'm trying to think if that's the right play here. Because this hand is a little different. Normally it would be Fallen Albaz, but I want to make sure I can get it out. Because Brandon, I mean, yeah, Fallen Albaz would be a better choice here. Into Lubellion. Lubellion effect, we're going to discard Fallen Aliber. Right, Aliber's going to be our discard. We're going to fuse by shuffling back. We're going to shuffle back Fallen Albaz and Lubellion to make Mirror Jade, which is going to be our first interruption, so to speak. Right. So we're going to tribute this off. Summon out Lubellion. Lubellion doesn't really matter being on the field. It's just a matter of fact keeping Albion in the graveyard doesn't matter. Cartesia's effect to fuse into Gangrenol. Gangrenol's effect is going to activate to dump. And you're guessing what it's stumping, the Gimmick Puppet. And so we do have the lock here. If you want to make sure you have the lock available. We have to make sure we have the lock available, which we need Fallen Albaz for. So we do have that. We do have that. But end phase, Albion is going to trigger. We're going to first do Cartesia, add back the hand. Albion will trigger to set. We're going to set Branded in red. Alright. And then we're going to pass. Alright, draw phase. Say in draw phase you have a quick effect like to activate. No, we're going to activate Branded in red. Actually, we're going to keep Cartesia in graveyard. That's smart for this play, actually. And activate Branded in red, add back Aliber. And then we're going to banish them. Banish Aliber and Mercurier. For Mudragon, we want additional protection here. Alright, it's going to be Chainlink 1, Mudragon, because you're in the response window of Lost. Chainlink 2, Quem. Chainlink 3, Lost. Chainlink 4, Mercurier. So Mercurier will add you the Fallen Albaz. Especially since we just shuffled one back. Branded Lost will add you, we're going to just put Albion in our hand. Quem will special summon back Cartesia. Right, and then Mudragon will change itself to light to temporarily make all of our light monsters unable to be targeted. Alright, and then it's going to go standby main phase. They get first action, right? Do they want to do anything? Nope, so we're going to activate Cartesia to fuse itself and Fallen Albaz into Albion the Sanctifier Dragon. It doesn't really matter, this can't be targeted anyway, but this is still light, so none of our light monsters can be targeted. Albion the Sanctifier Dragon's effect will trigger. We're going to special summon... We're going to get the tragedy out of the way. We're going to special Gimmick Puppet to their field and Albaz to our field. Even if it's not Albaz, we can still summon like Albion or something like that, but Albaz would be smart because they get Puppet locked and then you can use Albion to... Or you can use Albaz to trigger fusion into Albion. And then Lubellion to fuse by banishing, or fuse by shuffling back. It doesn't really matter what you shuffle back, but we're going to do a fusion monster plus a dark type. Wait, we have to do... We're going to do a fusion monster here from the field zone, because we have to, plus a dark type from graveyard. Into one last unnecessary interruption, but that's going to basically be it. Every other variant of the combo is basically the same. But there's other ways to do it without without Quem, but Quem is your main piece. Mud Dragon is not needed, but in the case of you want to make sure you have protection, that's why I played it. It was to make sure that, hey, if you do have something that I don't want to get targeting, because my cards can be responded to now, and so that's kind of why. So we're gonna do one more hand. Right, and then at the end, I guess I can go over what I'm siding out. So we're going to cut, draw 5, lost, Sark Ash, opening, deployment. It's basically the same thing, just a different line. We have to get rid of the Ash here, unfortunately. Actually, we can get rid of the Gold Sark. Yeah, so in draw phase, we're going to activate Branded Opening. And we're going to pitch the Gold Sark here, because we actually don't need it for Guiding Quem. Quem will activate, dumping Fallen Albaz this time. Actually, no. We're gonna pitch to Ash. Actually, like, we gotta keep the Gold Sark in hand. If we're gonna dump Fallen Albaz here, we have to keep the Gold Sark in hand. We're gonna go to main phase, activate Gold Sark. We're gonna banish the Tragedy, which I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, this is the graveyard banished. Tragedy, add Alibur. Activate Branded Lost. Then we'll summon Alibur to add Branded Fusion. Because we're not doing the whole backwards wave using Serenir to get it. Even though we ended up drawing it anyway off of Albion. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to activate Fusion Deployment first. We're going to reveal Gangrenal from our extra deck. And special summon Cartesia, that's why we didn't dump Cartesia first. We're going to use Blazing Cartesia's effect to fuse using Alibur and itself into Gangrenal. Chainlink 1 Gangrenal, Chainlink 2 Lost. So Lost will add us to Mercurier that I've been talking about for the last little bit. And this is, I'm pretty sure this is just going to be the puppet lock on their turn, and then we're going to dump Nightmare. And then, Quem, especially back Cartesia. Even though Cartesia is not really needed in this instance, but it helps. I'm going to activate Branded Fusion. Fallen Albaz plus Abyss of Lobelion. In the Albion effect, fuse with Banishing, we're going to banish Gangrenal and Fallen Albaz, because Gangrenal is a light spellcaster. In the Albion, Sanctifier Dragon. We're going to use Lobelion to tribute off Albion. And this may seem subpar, but this is actually pretty good upkeep for next turn. So when we get into it, we pass. End phase, we can use Albion to set Branded in red. Alright, so Branded in red set. On standby phase, Albion Sanctifier Dragon's effect. Summon Puppet to their field and Fallen Albaz to our field. Alright, we're not gonna... actually, we don't need to use Fallen Albaz. We can just summon Albion to our field. Right, so now they're locked for the turn. Out of special summoning, so we can Branded in red. Add back Fallen Albaz. And now since we have this on board, we have the Mercurier live, and obviously Albion, the Sanctifier, does too. We're going to add Fallen Albaz back to our hand with Branded in red. And then we're going to fuse with Fallen Albaz, the Despia Lebellion, and Albion the Branded Dragon. And they're all going to get banished. And the Guardian Chimera, so we get the pop 2, and we're going to cut the deck so we can draw our card. And then Lost will add us whatever the hell we want. So let's say we're going to add Spriggan's Kit. So we have Recursion for next turn. Quem could technically revive something, but it doesn't have a target now. But we're going to pop the Nightmare. So it's in our graveyard again. So we can continuously loop them. But anyway, we do have game on board. And that's going to be the Branded combo. This card needs to get banned, not Puppet, because without this, Puppet won't exist in this deck, and it would actually free up an extra deck space. So, I'm going to back it up. 2 steps. We're going to keep this on board. I'm going to keep this on board. I'm going to keep these in defense, putting Guardian Chimera back. Spriggan's Kit back. And Fallen Albaz back in the graveyard. Puppet to their side of the field, and red still face down. Right, the other play here is we activate Branded in red. We do add back Fallen Albaz. Right? Or actually, we're not going to add back Fallen Albaz. We're going to add back Alibur. Right, and we're going to fuse with Alibur, Lubellion, and Albion, which are all going to get banished. And the Proskenion. Right, and then we're going to add the kit. So this way, when we go into it, we can ensure game without having to pop the puppet. Without having to pop the puppet. We use Proskenion, swing. It'll destroy it. It deals 2,000 with its effect. Right, 3,000, which is 5,000, and then 3,000 for game. So, that's the other way you can do it. Proskenion is a very good card. But, yeah, that's about it. After this video is done, I will record the deck profile, so please bear with me. The deck profile is going to come out after the combo tutorial. But I hope you all have an amazing day. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys can, interpret the deck into your own style, which would be very cool. And I hope you all have a good day. See ya.